Hello, I'm Carolyn Clifton, the CNAP Area Coordinator for the Kiamichi Unit. This is a series on basic cooking techniques. Proper cutting techniques are part of cooking basics. Handling knives safely will ensure that you don't cut your fingers off or have other cutting injuries while preparing food. First, I would like to show you the different kinds of knives I'll be using today. This knife is called a chef's knife. This knife is a paring knife, and those are the two knives I'll be using. You can also use a peeler for peeling vegetables, and we have a grater for grating vegetables. The proper way of handling a knife is to have your thumb on the left side of the handle and your fingers on the right side of the handle. It's very important that when you're cutting vegetables that you use a cutting board. It's recommended that you use either wood or a soft plastic because hard plastic or hard surfaces dull your knives. I'm going to be using a soft plastic pliable cutting board today because once the vegetables are cut, then I can just slide them into the bowl. It's very important to wash your vegetables before you start to cut them because you want to make sure that they're good and clean for food safety purposes. I'm going to show you two different ways of peeling a vegetable or a fruit today. The first thing is I'm going to use a peeler to show you how to peel a carrot. You can just move your carrot around and go back and forth until you have all the peeling peeled off. And then I just peel down at the bottom. And there you have it. All the peeling is off of the carrot. Now I'm going to use a paring knife to peel the apple. And you want to be very careful because you're cutting towards yourself a little bit. But you can just go around the apple and just continue to make small cuts as you peel. And before you know it, you'll have the whole apple completely peeled. Chopping is cutting into small, irregular pieces. The small chop is about 1/4 of an inch in size. The coarse chop can be 1/2 to 3/4 inch in size. Mincing is cutting into very small, irregular pieces. I'm going to do this by holding the blade of the knife down and making a rocking motion with the handle. As you can see, my cutting board is kind of moving around on me, but that'll work. You want to make sure that you get it all minced up very well. This is an onion that we're mincing for a particular recipe that calls for minced onion. You want to slide it off of your knife. And you have very fine pieces. When cubing a potato, it makes it easier if you will cut the sides off, the front and back off, and make it a little flatter, more rectangular. Then you can just cut down equal parts, and then you can slice through. And then you can hold all of those pieces together. And then you have cubes. This would be for making mashed potatoes. When making a stir fry, you want to have some strips of pepper in your stir fry, and they're called julienne strips. The first thing that I usually do is cut off the end of the pepper, and then I take out the seeds, and then slice it down. You can switch knives, and it's easier to cut the seeds out with a paring knife. But I'm going to show you how to make julienne strips. It's just long, thin strips. I just turn the pepper over and just cut towards myself, trying to be very careful not to cut my fingers off. But then there you have your julienne strips for your stir fry. The next technique I'm going to show is called shredding or grating. This is a grater. You want to make sure that the holes are pointing up, and you're going to rub your ingredient, your vegetable, against the grater. It makes fine little shreds. That's why it's called shredding or grating. And there's the finished product. Slicing is very easy. All you do is cut your vegetable into thin pieces, or if you need bigger pieces, you can cut them a little bit wider. And that's all there is to slicing a vegetable. Now that you know the proper cutting techniques, you can make a great stir fry.